The leadership legend, Miles Monroe, says that leadership is inherent in every one of us. It's our destiny. It's actually part of our lives. And on that note, I welcome everyone to today's Spelge, Sunday Politics, Leadership, Economic, and Governance. You are welcome, and we are airing live from the International Center for Leadership, Diplomacy, Economic, and Human Development. Spelge is sponsored by iGold Africa, meaning Initiative for Good Governance, Leadership and Economic Development. On Spelge, we talk about leadership, we talk about economics, we talk about development, we talk about a lot of things. But today, we have a special topic for you, and we are talking about leadership. Before we go further, we want to say a very big thank you to our international president, Reverend Barrister Ikenna Emmanuel, who gave us this platform for us to air our views. He has been a source of inspiration for us, and we want to say a very big thank you for this opportunity. All right, today we are talking about leadership. My name is Emmanuel, and I'm a leadership consultant under the iGold Africa. We want to talk about leadership hardness, and it promises to be something wonderful today. It promises to be awesome, and I would like you to stay tuned. You can also like, you can share, you can connect with your friends, call them and let them know. You can share this video. It's going to help you even as you journey towards success. Today we are looking at something rather very important that affects every one of us. We are looking at leadership hardness. Yes, leadership hardness. What are those things that each and every one of us as leaders would desire to withstand the storm? Whenever you want to be a leader, whenever you opt to be a leader, whenever you decide to take up leadership positions, the road is not going to be smooth. The road is not going to be all jolly ride. It's going to be bumpy sometimes. How do you go through these things? These and more we're going to be talking about today. I'm not alone. I'm here with a friend of mine, a colleague, we're going to be discussing together on leadership hardness. Leadership hardness, what do you think?
Okay, thank you so much. You know, when you hear about leadership hardness, what will come to somebody's mind is harshness, or about a leader being inflexible, or even leadership hardship. But that's not it. By leadership hardness is the ability of the leader to demonstrate strength, resilience, adaptability, decisiveness, commitment, and the rest of them. Let me give you an instance. You know, the post-COVID era brought about financial challenges and unpleasant situations that forced many companies to adopt leadership hardness. One of them is downsizing or laying off staff. A situation where some staff have worked with you for some good number of years, and at a point in time, there is no other thing one could do than to lay off your staff. That's a very tough decision to take. And the ability of the leader to take such decision is what we mean by leadership hardness. And there are certain things the leader has to do in order to arrive at that. And over the years, we have seen so many leaders demonstrate leadership hardness. Let me give you an instance. The one we know, Winston Churchill, you know, his fight against Nazism by Adolf Hitler. Adolf Hitler wanted to carry out what they call totalitarianism by almost trying to conquer the world. At that point in time, Winston Churchill was the Prime Minister of UK. And the only thing he could do was to rise up to the demand of the time to be able to stop this guy. It was as if the whole world left him, say, you are on your own. Because he understands what it means to be hard as a leader, he made the decision and confronted Adolf Hitler. And Adolf Hitler was subdued. And then UK gained that independence and became the world leader then because of the decision of a man. And we have seen it in so many other leaders. Okay, there is this one we know. That should be Hans Kotz. That's a Spanish leader then. The story we had it was that he wanted to conquer Aztec. Aztec was in Mexico then. And then when he took his men, and then they were on board, about 11 ships, They wanted to conquer Aztec, and then they got a news that a very bad, disturbing news that almost demoralized the members of the team, and they were not ready to fight that battle again. What was the decision he took? He decided to burn down the ship. The 12 ship were burnt down. And these guys were like, they say, at this point in time, there is nothing else you could do than to fight the battle and win the battle. They eventually won the battle. Aztec was subdued because a man stood his ground and made a very tough decision. It is not a friendly decision. You know, when you begin to look at the emotions of people, look at circumstances and situations, it will be very hard for you to make a decision. But this guy made that decision. We can see men and women. Okay, let me even talk about a lady. There is this great lady they call from Pakistan. You should know him, Malala. Malala Yousafzai. She stood against what was predominant in Nigeria. We might call it Boko Haram, but in Pakistan, they said a girl child should not be educated. That is don't have nothing to do with school. This lady stood up against it to the point that the Taliban almost shot her at gunpoint. She escaped it. She took the decision, stood up for girls' child education, and today there are girls that are educated in Pakistan because of a lady's tough decision. And I think by 2014, she was given a Nobel Award Prize. What am I trying to say? As a leader, at every point in time, there will be situations that will confront you. And such situations will demand that you make a tough decision. So your ability to make that tough decision, carry the team along, and also achieve the goal of that organization is what makes you a hard leader. So from my own point of view, being hard as a leader does not mean that you are rough or that you are harsh or that you are inflexible. No, it's the ability to make a very tough decision that will help an institution, an organization, a nation, even a family, even your personal goal, to be able to navigate through a very rough path and then come out successful at the end. It's usually not easy. So the process and the pathway of achieving that is what makes a leader hard.
All right. Leadership hardness talks about making decisions, your ability to take decisions in as much as they may not seem easygoing, they may be very difficult to take, but what makes you a tough and a strong leader? We are talking about leadership hardness today. What makes you a tough leader is your ability to take decisions. Another thing that can make you a tough leader is your ability to stretch. Your ability to stretch. A lot of us, even as individuals, even those of us that have families, those that have organizations, whatever you do, some persons, when they get to their limits, they just go back. But your ability to stretch, take the extra mile, that was make you a leadership. That's what makes you a strong leader, a hard leader. Like he said, it's not really about being stubborn or being tough. Yes, you can be stubborn to problems. You can be stubborn to limitations. And that's what we are talking about. Your ability to stretch makes you a hard leader. Another thing that can make you a hard leader is your ability to be resilient. Your ability to go through the rough road. A lot of persons want to take life easy. It's not going to be easy all the time. Life is not going to answer to you every time. Someone said life is not going to give you what you want, but what you demand from it. So life would always be hard. Life will always be stubborn. But guess what? It is not stubborn to the hard leader. The person that have decided to be resilient, to go ahead the extra mile, no matter what it is, the person that have decided to stretch, the person that have decided to take the decisions, no matter how difficult they seem, that person, I tell you, is a hard leader. You have one more point to make?
Yes, I will say that by demonstrating leadership hardness as a leader, number one is that you must have a clear-cut goal. Why do you want to make? What is the goal? What is the vision as an individual, as an organization? Then you just have to be decisive. And then in carrying out that decision, you also have to carry on the team members by having what is called empathy, trying to relate. Because when we talk about leadership, it's not all about you this time around. There are people you are working with, having empathy, trying to carry the picture of the decision you want to take. Okay, let me even take it to the family. A situation where you want to enforce some rules in the family. maybe you do not start it at the onset or the outset, and it becomes very difficult for the family based on your finances. Okay, let's say you want to cut down on the amount of money that is being given to maybe your children. It's going to be very, very hard and very, very difficult. So,
Yeah.
but your ability to make that decision is you trying to explain facts and situations on ground. If it has to do with organization, it is also necessary. The challenge we had during the redesign, Naira design as a nation, was that the leaders were not able to carry the citizen along. They made the decision, force it down to the throat of the populace, the masses, and then got a very harsh feedback to the point that they reversed that decision. That means they were not actually tough. Just like now, the Naira, the cashless policy model that they adopted was almost reversed. Now there is cash everywhere. Why? Because they did not carry people along, communicate that decision effectively to the people. Then follow it with time. You'll be able to realize it. Because if you want to make a very tough decision and force it down on them, you get a backlash. And that was what happened. Today, there is money everywhere. Even though that they had a very good idea, trying to redesign the Naira, good, trying to install the less cash policy, very good, but the system of adopting and implementing it was very bad, and they got a backlash. It happens everywhere, in a company, in the family, even in the church. So while making a tough decision, what makes you a hard leader is ability to carry on to ensure that that vision is realized despite how difficult it is. So that is the point. At any point where you want to make a very tough decision, having a goal in mind. Also, bear in mind that there are processes and the steps that you must take as a leader in order to get it realized.
And lastly, for today, one of the things that will make you a hard leader is your ability to be composed, even in the midst of seemingly uncertain challenges. You took the decision, like you said, you got a backlash. One of the things that made our leaders outstanding a little bit in that aspect, I think we have to give it to them. They were strong and composed. The human nature will always fight change. But they presented their thoughts, and then people, there was reprisal attacks, there were reactions, but then in the midst of the reactions, you find them composed. One of the things that will make you a successful leader, a hard leader, in this 21st century, is your ability to compose yourself even in the midst of facing challenges. They should not see your face as a leader and detect what is happening to you in your house, in your family, whatever. Your face has to show that you are composed, because as a hard leader, if you want to achieve success, you have to compose in yourself.
I think they called red jacket principle.
Red jacket principle. All right, that's enough. The much we can take for today. I believe you learned something. I believe you've gotten something. This is Spelled Sunday Politics, Economic Leadership and Development. We are airing from the International Center for Leadership, Diplomacy, Economic and Human Development, West Africa, Nigeria. And we are sponsored by iGold, Initiative for Good Governance, Leadership and Economic Development. I want you to share this video, connect with your friends, and also connect with us on the number that is on your screen.
Like and follow.
Yes, like and follow. Connect with us
like
on
and
the
follow.
numbers that you are seeing on the screen right now. And if you want us to train your staff or whatever it is, you can also connect with us, and we'll be glad to do that. Okay, we're having it up today. From us to you, we say that pursue success and be a hard leader. So
Yes,
join us
important.
again, same time, same station, on this social space, 5 p.m. West African time, on this channel, and we are sure that you will be successful.
You get value.
All right. Have a wonderful day.